Hello and welcome to Friday's Masterclass edition of Cracking the Cryptic. This is the episode each week where we try to work through that day's Times Cryptic crossword. It's what we originally set up the channel to do all those years ago, summer 2017, if I remember correctly. And it wasn't greatly popular, if I'm honest, for about a year. But nowadays, it's a video I really look forward to making each week, and the feedback on this video is amongst the best we get. I think people really enjoy learning how to solve these wonderful puzzles. Today's puzzle is by James McGaughey, who is a phenomenal setter. Always somebody who's the surfaces of James's clues are just awesome. And I checked this snitch, which is the unofficial rating of the difficulty, when I woke up this morning, and it was about 120, so 100 is an averagely difficult puzzle. But let's have a quick look now. Okay. All right, so the first time there that's real is Mark, who's done this in a shade under 6 minutes, which will be slightly slower than Mark's average. John McCabe there with 6:06. That's actually, believe it or not, quite a bit slower than John's average. But after these sort of greyhounds, we've got the still the show dogs. Believe me, I mean, these are all winning their best of breed at Crufts. Jason James, Nathan Panning, Matthew Marcus Verlaine there, all with times I think that would be 3 or 4 minutes slower than their average time. So it's clearly got a kick, this one. Let's have a look at the top 100 and just see where. So I'm just looking for errors here. Yeah, you can still, with 1 or 2 errors, sneak in. Well, in fact, there's only been 87 solves. Oh goodness! Now what's going on with my this scroll thing is not working very well on the top scrolly wheel thing on my mouse. It's sort of it goes off in one direction, and then it sort of starts to go back in the other direction. If anyone understands why it does that, it's been doing it for about 2 weeks. It's infuriating. Anyway, that's nothing to do with the contents of this video. Now, a couple of things to mention. It's the first of the month, so if you do, if you're a patron of the channel, if you support the channel over on Patreon, which is a couple of bucks a month to do that, there's our competition is launching this afternoon, Spider-Man themed Sudoku hunt. So do get involved in that. The other thing that happens over on Patreon is there's all sorts of extra bonus content, so Mark's connection videos and gridogram videos, and I think there might be a listener crossword solve coming up soon as well. But anyway, that's one other thing I want to just say, congratulations to Ellie over there in East Sussex. Ellie let us know during the week that she has solved her first cryptic crossword, having watched these videos for a while. So Ellie, I am made up for you. Those are the sort of messages that we absolutely love getting. So well done you. Ellie owns an escape room in East Sussex. I have never done an escape room. I think I just missed out somehow. I think COVID got in the way of me really getting into escape rooms, and since then, I just haven't done. I've never done one. So maybe one day. But anyway, Ellie, very well done on your cryptic crossword prowess. Oh, and the other thing to mention is, I know many of you will know this already, but we are doing a daily video on minute cryptic clues. Often they appear as shorts on the channel, or you might find them over on Instagram or TikTok. How can I describe minute cryptic? I do enjoy doing them, but they aren't always as grammatically perfect as we might discover James's clues to be today. But let me just check that it looks like at least approximately the screen is in the right place. So let's get cracking, and I'm just going to launch this, and I'm going to have a look at OBS to check that the crossword is I think that is in the right position, actually. I think we're okay there. Right, so let's get cracking. One across. Top Gear. Delighted guys. Oh, that's... I mean, just let's stop there. What a clue that is. I say what a clue. I don't know what the answer is or how to read it, but I mean, it's exactly what I said before we even started the puzzle. Is James has an absolutely brilliant ability for the surfaces of the clues to sort of shine. Top Gear Delight. So if you're very new to cryptic crosswords, you might not know this, but every single clue has to contain a definition of the answer to be entered. And that definition is almost always at the start or the end of the clue. So here we might be looking for a 4-4 phrase that means top or top gear, or it might mean guys, or even delighted guys. No, I don't think there are phrases that mean delighted guys. Top Gear. And then the rest of the clue is going to be a recipe that tells you how to build up the answer. So it might say put a word into another word or anagram some letters. But this is the crucial thing. That instruction, that recipe, it might not at first blush read like a recipe, but once you understand how it has to be read, it must be, one, precise. So it can't be wishy-washy, and it must also make grammatical sense. So, for example, I remember I had a letter once. I used to edit Crossword magazine, the Magpie, which is still existent. It still exists today. It's a wonderful thing. So you should all go and subscribe to the Magpie. But it's listener style crosswords, which are very difficult puzzles, all with a theme in them. And I was exchanging correspondence with Sabre, the legendary setter. And Sabre was criticising his own clues, which I mean is ridiculous. Sabre's clues are unbelievable. Many of all of our favourite clues would be Sabre clues. I mean, St Andrew's puss, bad catty comes to mind. But anyway, I digress. But Sabre was having a go at himself because I remember the phrase, he said, "Words do not have roofs, Andrew." His name is Andrew in real life. Now, what does he mean by that? What he means by that is he was probably cluing a down clue, and he might have referred to, the roof of house or something like that, roof of house, and where he was indicating or trying to indicate the letter H, implying that the sort of top letter of the word house, the roof of it, was the H. And he was saying, no, that's... You can sort of get it if you think about it, but actually words don't have roofs, do they? So it's not a precise instruction. It's an instruction that requires you to sort of, go off into an imaginary world and then come up, guess what the constructor's thinking. That's not good enough. That is not good enough. These clues will all make sense. We'll see this as we go through. Anyway, that's a bit of a peroration, sorry. Let's have a look at the one across again. Top Gear, delighted guys. So guys could be men, boys. I want this probably to be a word for Top Gear, but not in the sense of the TV show. More likely something you wear on the top of your body, like a hat or something, or delighted. If you're delighted, you are absolutely made up. You are I'm trying to think of a 4-letter word for what you are. You are glad. You are glad ragged. Glad rags. Could it be glad rags? It could, Yeah. Okay. So here is a really good exercise if you are new to these puzzles. So I've come up with the idea that the answer to this might be glad rags. See if you can work out why I think it's the answer. Having thought about it, it wasn't instantly obvious to me that it was, but I think it probably is. Why? If you've managed to do it, that's brilliant, because that is exactly what we need to do. So the first job, and we were almost there with this, we have to split the clue in half, because one half is the definition, and it is Top Gear. But it wasn't in the sense of something you wear on your head. It was literally your most fine clothing, the finery you might wear to your, when you're in your best outfit. Well, that would define glad rags, wouldn't it? So now the rest of the clue has to be a recipe that tells you how to come up with glad rags. If you're delighted, you're glad. Now, why is rags synonymous with guys? Well, to guy, if you guy somebody, you rib them, you tease them. And if you rag on somebody, I think you tease them. So I think it's a sort of teasing meaning of the word guys. Now, what we can do, I'm not going to change this, so I'm going to look it up. So to guy, let's look up that first. A joke. To make fun of. There we go, to make fun of. To guy is to make fun of. Now, to rag. Let's hope it's there. To banter. That's to make fun of, isn't it? To ridicule. That's to make fun of. So it's in that sense. So glad rags is correct. Now this is great, because now we should have a chance. Let's have a look at one down, beginning with G, 9 letters. Pregnancy, one had through physical attraction. Again, the surface is sort of interesting. Pregnancy, one had through physical attraction. Okay, this might be a word that's only on the edge of my consciousness. Okay. So again, if you're not sure how to read this, I'm not that surprised. But make a decision. What do you think the definition is in this clue? Bearing in mind it's almost always at the start or the end of the clue. Do we think it's pregnancy, or attraction, or physical attraction? Now, one way to get at what part of the clue might be the definition is to read the words of the clue and see if any of them feel to you like they could be part of a recipe. Now, a recipe involves mixing things or putting things into things, doesn't it? So any words that are about the position of things are very likely to be part of the recipe. And here we've got one had through. Now this word through is telling us to put something that means one had, and we'll think about that in a moment, through, as in inside, another word which means physical attraction. So this word through is giving us a strong hint, I think, that actually we're looking for a word here that means pregnancy. Now, one had. Can we think of the shortest synonym we can for the phrase one had? One had a very nice time. I had a very nice time. I'd. I''D. That is what we're looking for here. Now, can we think then of a 7-letter word for a physical attraction? And the great thing about this clue, there's many great things about it, but physical attraction in the surface makes you think of a romantic, somebody who's very good looking. Whereas actually, I think what we're looking for here is literally the physical attraction that two bodies of mass exert on one another in physics. Gravity, I think, is the physical attraction. So if we put ID in the word gravity, now then we might get gravidity. That's the word I'm thinking about. Gravid, I think, is a word to do with pregnancy. So gravidity is probably a word to do with pregnancy. I mean, the other... Gridavity would be the alternative, or gidravity. Gravidity. I'm not going to look that one up because I'm not sure. But if we can justify some of the checking letters, we can look it up. Should we try 16 across with this Y? 6 letters. Total pain swapping plaster, essentially. Well, I think I know what this is. Again, try and go through this exercise. It's quite a strange wording, this one. Which part of the clue do we think the definition is? If you manage to get this, well done, actually. Because I don't think this is very easy to read or pass. I think we're looking for we're trying to define a word here that means plaster essentially. As in, what is the essential ingredient of plaster that you might use to create walls and things like that? I'm not very good at anything to do with DIY. I am literally the guy in the Far Side cartoon, where the sign says pull and the guy's trying to push the door open. I am not very practical. So I think this might be, well, let's read the rest of it. How could the rest of this be a word play? Could be a recipe. Total pain swapping. I think what this is saying is think of a word for total, think of a word for pain, and then swap them round. So I think this is gypsum. If your leg gives you a bit of gyp, it gives you pain, doesn't it? And a total is a sum. So if gypsum is an ingredient of plaster, that would make sense. So I would put that in fairly confidently. Should we have a look at 3 down now, which looks like a phrase? 8-6. R for the first letter. R starts the first word. M starts the second. Let's try and do it without looking at the clue, actually. Something melody? Romantic? No. It's probably a silly thing to do, and in fact I can't do it. So let's go back. Unusual Vermeer. Okay, let's stop there. Unusual Vermeer. That's a weird phrase. I'm immediately thinking we're going to treat the letters of Vermeer unusually. We're going to anagram them. In fact, look at the next word after that. Thorned. How many times have you seen the word thorned in your life? This is probably the first. So why has James used the word thorned? It could mean because he wants to define the word pricked or prickled or something, but much more likely, to me at least, is it's necessary that these exact letters are used in the clue. Why would James want to use these exact letters? Because it's an anagram. So Vermeer and thorned is going to give us 14 letters, isn't it? So if that was true, the definition would be head dedicated to Christ. Reverend Deacon? No. It's got an M in it. Reverend Mother. Who's the head of, presumably the head of a nunnery or something, is it? Reverend Mother. Feels like it's got the right anagram fodder to me. So I think, oh my goodness though, we have a V. Sat-nav would fit. Driving instructor. Placed vehicle in reverse. Again, the surface is so good, isn't it? Driving instructor, placed vehicle in reverse. It just makes such sense. Now, I think the answer's going to be sat-nav. I don't know why. Van is reversed. Okay, yeah. So, driving instructor, cut it after that. That's a sat-nav. A sat-nav does instruct you where to drive. Placed. If you placed something somewhere, it sat there, didn't it? And then a vehicle is a van, and that's in reverse. So that gives you nav. So sat-nav. Then so much easier having a V here. So much easier. Now, is this... I was going to say, what's that going to be? Amnesty, maybe. No. Oh, annexed, probably. 7 letters. Old Queen, I'm thinking Queen Anne, given the chop, wanting head stuck on. Yeah, so Queen Anne, if you were given the chop, what would happen? You would be axed. But that wants its head. Now here, we're saying that words can have heads. And I think that's okay. I think a head is different from a roof. A head is like, the top of something, isn't it? So in a down clue, can a word have a head? This is quite an interesting semantic debate. What is the difference between a head and a roof from a sort of a cryptic crossword perspective? Anyway, I will leave that for the comments, but the word axed needs its head, so it it hasn't got it. That just gives us XED. And annexed, stuck on. If something was stuck on the side of a building, it would be annexed to it. Now, here, look at this X. We've actually got a V as well, so this could be a pangram attempt. Always be on the lookout for this. I know it's a bit of a weird point, but it's so helpful. If you know a puzzle's going to have a Q and a J in it, your brain sort of warms up to that idea, and it will give you a chance to solve probably the most difficult answers. If you've got a word like Djibouti appearing or something like that, it's you might expect it more. Now this could be minx. Could also be our friendly neighbourhood rat Finks, but I don't think it probably is. Anyway, 11 across, ending in X, 4 letters. Cross after Jack. Admitted reason for loss of fortune. Okay. So I don't think we're getting our J from Djibouti, but we might be getting it from this clue. Yeah. Okay. Again, I think I'm being very lucky here. Oh, I've just written it. I didn't mean to just write it in, but I think it's jinx. The cross is literally this. I mean, this is a cross as in something you might write on an exam script to indicate that something was wrong. Like the letter X. That goes after Jack. Well, in playing cards, the Jack would be indicated with a J. Now, I do this every week, but it bears repetition. If something is going to be abbreviated in a cryptic crossword clue, it almost always has to be supported by the dictionary. There are very, very few exceptions. The exceptions you could probably list on one hand. The most common exception is t-shirt sizes. So small, medium, large, S, M, and L. I think medium actually is in the dictionary, but large isn't. So the word large can be abbreviated to L in cryptic crossword clues. But playing cards. Why is J a Jack? Let's see. There, straight away. Jack in cards. So this Jack in the clue can be the letter J. If you're admitted to a stadium, you are in, aren't you? If you're admitted to a club, you're in the club. So we've got J in X, and the reason for a loss of fortune, a jinx. Let's keep going. 13 across, 8 letters. Pacific Island recreated in opening of Disney's Moana. Pacific Island. Not sure. I think I might know how to read it, but I don't know if I know the answer. Okay, here's how I read the clue. Remember, one side of the clue is very likely to be the definition. Now, let's just look at the end of the clue here. Moana, or opening of Disney's Moana. I mean, I don't know any words that mean that. Opening of Disney's Moana could be premiere, I suppose, if there was a question mark at the end of the clue, because, the opening of Disney's Moana would be an example of a premiere. But this is clearly not premiere. And I don't know any synonyms for Moana. So I think we're looking for the name of a Pacific island. So how does the recipe then give us the 8 letters that we need? Well, recreated. That feels to me like an anagram indicator. If we recreate a string of letters, we're going to sort of, we're going to reorder them. We're going to create them in a different way. So recreated in, well, that could be part of the anagram fodder, IN. Opening of Disney, the opening letter of the word Disney is D. And Moana. So in D, Moana. Now if we anagram in D, Moana, can we create the name of a Pacific island? In D. So it's literally, I've got in and D in the grid, so it's only the letters of Moana. I don't know this. This is very annoying, because if this letter here is not something incredibly revealing, I'm going to have to guess this. Let's try and get 4 down. 7 letters beginning with G. Old Irish men, among others from the south, hated cops. Old Irishmen, among others from the south, hated cops. Don't know. I mean, if I'm guessing, I think this might be a 7-letter word for old Irish men. So probably like a prehistoric tribe or something like that. Like it's not this, but Picts or Gauls or Gaelics or something like that. Gaelics couldn't be that, could it? Hated. Among others. No, I don't think it is that. Old Irishmen. I don't know. I'm not sure. This word hated cops, I mean, it's very cleverly worded, but so how does the recipe work? I think I need a small word for among others, like et al. Or something. From the south, so that's going to be, if we reverse that, because it's going to come from the south side, and then a word for hated is going to cop that reversal, so it's going to capture it, I think. So I think I'm looking for a short word that means hated that ends in G. Hated. I can't think of it. Not sure. That's annoying. Let's try 12 across then. 10 letters, beginning with R. Earl or Lord, given makeover. Okay, let's stop there. Earl or Lord is 10 letters, given a makeover. So could it be an anagram of Earl or Lord? Way smoother, ? Oh, that's lovely. That's a lovely clue. Right. So I was on the right lines. Can you see the answer? And then can you understand why it's the answer? So way smoother makes it sound like, oh, he was way smoother. The way he the way he moved onto the dance floor was way smoother. Is something nobody has ever said about me. No, but what about if it meant a way as in a street? What might street smoother be? Something that smooths the street. So what we're looking for, I think, is, I think the word is going to be road roller, isn't it? That looks like we've got the anagram fodder for that. A road roller, like it feels like a steamroller to me. Something that smooths the way. So I don't know. that this is a word, but it feels like it's a word, and I've definitely got the anagram fodder for something that's either that or very close to it. It gives me an A in this one. I don't know. Should we go for 10 across? I've got nothing in it. 8 letters. Old Indian's tongue. Romeo pierces without tools for the job. Again, I mean, if you read the surface, it's quite evocative. Old Indian's tongue. Romeo pierces without tools for the job. I mean, this is a terrifying one because I think this is going to be the name for an old Indian language. And that could mean it is a very strange collection of letters. Romeo, I think, is most likely to be the letter R, and that's from the International Radio alphabet. If you heard Romeo on the radio, you'd know it meant the letter R, like Alpha will be A, sorry. Juliet will be J. Bravo will be B. No, I'm not going to go through them all, but you get the idea. So R is piercing, a 7-letter word or phrase that means without tools for the job. If you haven't got the tools for the job, you are you are something less, maybe? Or what are the tools you would need to pierce somebody's tongue? I don't even know. Just sounds jolly painful. Let's try 8 down. 2, 10, 2. Before parking, regarding clamps. Before parking, regarding clamps, ? I don't know what this is yet, but I'm trying to understand how to read it. Here's a guess. If this was a phrase that meant before, parking regarding clamps would be a recipe. Can we think of a short word or phrase that means regarding? Now, the phrase I've thought of is as to. If something is as to something, it's regarding it. So if this is a phrase, so could this be as here, to here, and mean before, as, and then this word in the middle would be a word that means parking. Oh no, that is a wasp, is it? Naughty wasp. Go on, fly out. Oh dear, it is a wasp. It's a very buzzy wasp. Parking. Parking can be just the letter P, but as presented to, or as, I don't know. I'm just guessing here. I don't really understand that one. Right, let's try 5 across. Oh, no. Bad wasp. Go away. 4 letters. A slow mover, slug, snail, fails to finish in scheduled time. Oh dear. It's a very annoying wasp. Slow mover, fails to finish in scheduled time. I don't know that one. Feels like it's maybe a 5-letter word for something that moves slowly, that's not going to finish. And then the definition is a 4-letter word that means scheduled time. Slot? Sloth. There we go. Scheduled time is the slot for something. Sloth is a slow mover. And then we cut the H off. It fails to finish. That gives us slot. Not on a slot, but just slot. Let's go for 6 down, beginning with L. Okay, 7 letters. Minor water leak affected tenancy. Yeah, okay, I can do this. So, Mark, I remember, Mark being asked the question many times, as the 14-time winner of the Times Crossword Championship, he often gets asked, what's your best tip how to solve these puzzles? And his best tip is a bit different to mine, but he always says, look at the words in the clue and think of as many short synonyms for those words as you can, because they're likely to be the bits of the recipe you need to build together to get to the answer. So I want to look here at the word tenancy. Can we think of any short synonyms for the word tenancy? And hopefully you're going to think of the word let. A let is a tenancy, isn't it? And that is a very short word, and we've got some L's in the clue. So it feels like the answer might involve the word let. And if that's right, then we know it's the other side of the clue that's the definition. Now, leak, affected. If you affect the letters of the word leak, they may not be in the same order anymore. So I think we're looking for an anagram of leak plus let at the end. So the trickiest part of this is the definition, which I think is minor water, as in a minor body of water. And I presume there must be a word, lakelet. I'm so confident that must be how the clue works. I'm prepared to look that up. A lakelet. Oh, yes, there. Lakelet. A little lake. A minor water. Okay, so we looked at this one. So now it's got a K in it, without tools for the job. Old Indian's tongue. Don't know. Okay, 7 down, 5 letters, beginning with T. Twinkling star, aircrew noted at certain frequency. Twinkling star, aircrew noted at certain frequency. Yeah, okay, I can get this. This is tricky. I'm helped as we get a visit from Maverick flying over. I prefer Maverick to Wasps, though, frankly. I think the Wasp might have flown out again. I can't see the Wasp. This word twinkling, what might that mean? Well, if something twinkles, it sort of flashes on and off, doesn't it? And I think that therefore, from a recipe perspective, what we're being asked to do is to look at the phrase star aircrew and take the sort of twinkling letters that are in that phrase, by which I mean either all the even numbered letters, or the letters in positions 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Oh no, it is still around. Just heard it. Oh goodness, it's flying at me. Whoa, it's getting very adventurous. Fly out of the window, you silly creature. Or the odd numbers letters, positions 1, 3, 5, and thereafter. Now, if you look at the even numbered letters, they look to me like they're spelling the word trice. And could that be noted at certain frequency? And a trice, that's probably happening 3 times, is it? I think a trice can be a very short period as well. Anyway, I think that is how we're meant to read this. Let's just have a look at what exactly a trice means. A moment. Noted. So noted at certain frequency. It's quite a difficult definition to grasp, that, but it's probably okay. It doesn't. Well, does it help me at all with my old Indian's tongue? Something I see at the end, perhaps? like it's not this, but like Aramaic or something. Romeo pierces without tools for the job. Ooh, okay. I think we're going to have to go further afield and sort of build our way back up into this part of the grid. Let's try 14. 6 letters. Obsession leads to feelings evoking trauma somewhat. An obsession. An obsession, if you have a thing for something, you have an obsession for it. But what's this leads to feelings evoking trauma somewhat? I mean, the leading letters of the words feelings evoking trauma are fet, which would allow us to do that, wouldn't it? Fetish. Somewhat-ish. So an obsession is a fetish. Leads to feelings evoking trauma, FET, and somewhat question mark. If ish is a sort of suffix, isn't it, that would mean somewhat. I mean, there are loads of examples of that, but fetish is clearly right. Now, what's this then? As preferred to? No, as before. As before parking regarding clamps. Parking. I can't get it. By preference? No. 15 down. Beginning with S though, 513. Empty such a barrel full of beer quickly, please. Empty such a barrel full of beer quickly, please. Okay, I don't know what this is, but empty such. That could be an instruction to empty the word such. That would give SH. A barrel. Now, do I know any short words for a barrel? Yes. Ton is the word I'm thinking of. TUN. So, and that this A in the clue is not going to be there as a frivolous thing. It's going to be there as part of the recipe, I think. So, a ton full of beer. Short synonym for beer. The only one I'm thinking of is ale. So is this a phrase that means quickly, please? Like step on it, or shake a leg? Oh, keg. Keg. My shake ale. That's great, isn't it? So quickly, please, shake a leg. And we were almost right. I just got the wrong synonym for barrel. So such SH. A in the clue is this A in the answer. Barrel is keg, this K, this E, and this G. Full of, so inside our keg we put a word that means beer, ale, and we can construct shake a leg. And again, note that once we read the clue correctly, the recipe is absolutely precise. This A is absolutely necessary for the clue. And contrast that. If the clue had read, empty such barrel full of beer quickly, please, it would mean the same thing in terms of the surface. The surface would still mean something, but the recipe would not work. It would be wrong, because this A would be unclued. You can't clue a keg with the word barrel. It's not enough. So, yeah. So, I mean, unsurprisingly, this clue is perfect. Now, I'm trying to see, maybe I go here, do I? 7 letters beginning with S in 17 down. Like the Arctic winter, ? Snowy, or I don't know. Start to shiver, if not. If not. Like the Arctic winter. I should be able to get this. I think this is a phrase that means, or a word that means like the Arctic winter. Sunless is the answer. The Arctic winter, I don't think the sun ever rises. I have been to Lapland once, and it was weird because the sun really didn't rise. Well, not properly anyway. And it was also weird because it was minus 40, which was quite cold. Yeah. But how does it work? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Start to shiver. That's the start of the word shiver. S. If not, well, unless means if not, doesn't it? So sunless. That's poetic, isn't it? Down to a sunless Kubla Khan, Xanadu de Kubla Khan's stately pleasure dome decree, where elf the sacred river ran in caverns measureless to man down to a sunless sea or something. So sunless is what's going in there. S unless. Now let's go for 20 across then. 5, 2, 3. We don't really have any good letters. Tug with replacement. Coming around will probably land. Tug with replacement. Coming around will probably land. I don't know. I want this to be a word that means land. So if a boat lands, it sort of comes to the shore. So that's what I'm thinking of, something to shore. But obviously that is totally not what fits the answer or is the answer. Tug with replacement. I'm wondering if it's an anagram of tug with. I don't think it is. Oh dear. Okay, I can't do that one at all. Let's try 21 down. 5 letters. No, we haven't got any. Health done for? ? Yeah, okay. I can do that one, weirdly. So when you get a very short clue, it's quite likely, because there's not really enough space for there to be a complicated recipe, is there? It's quite likely to be a double definition. So I think what we're looking for here is a word that means health and a word that means done for. The question mark is interesting there, because that means that done for we're going to have to think of that in a bit of a cryptic way. Now, it's not dreadfully easy, this, but I think that the answer, I think health here is what you might do if you're at a celebration and everyone says, let's drink to somebody's health. What are you doing there? You are toasting them. So if we had the word toast, why does that mean done for? Well, if you're done for, you're toast, aren't you? It's sort of euphemistically. So I think it's in that sense that toast is being used there. I mean, it feels correct to me. Toast as in health, and toast as in, you're finished. Now, what's this one then? If that's right, cobblers is a word that means rubbish. So could this be tosh? Not all. Yes, it can, because there's always at least one of these in every. Well, there's not always. There's very often one of these at least in every Times crossword, and this is a hidden answer, i.e., the letters of this answer are spelt out in the clue. And remember, when this happens, the constructor has to tell you they've done it. They can't just hide the answer in the clue and leave you to discover it without telling you it's there. But we are told it's there. So again, cut the clue after the word cobblers. The answer's tosh. Whoops. Not all into shoes. So we're taking not all of the letters into shoes. And you can see in the phrase into shoes, spelt out T-O-S-H, the answer. So not all of the phrase into shoes would be tosh. So again, the instruction is precise. So what's this then? Stand to tug with replacement. Coming around will probably land. Stand to. Stone. Stung. I don't know. All right, let's try a different one. 23, 4-4. Withdraw before explosive parents snap. Again, a brilliant clue. Withdraw before explosive. If you see explosive in a cryptic crossword clue, it could absolutely be indicating an anagram. If you treat letters in an explosive way, they're going to blow up and move all over the place. But there are short synonyms for explosive, and there's two abbreviations that you need to be aware of. One is TNT, that's an explosive. The other is HE, believe it or not, which is a valid abbreviation. If we go to the dictionary for high explosive, high explosive. So, withdraw before explosive parents snap. I think this might be same deal. Same here. Same here, not same deal. Same here is what we're looking for. This is really difficult. So here, what we have to do is cut the clue after the word parents. And if you said snap to somebody, you might be playing cards, but you could be just saying, oh yeah, I agree, same here. So how does the recipe work? Remember, it's got to be grammatically correct. Withdraw, reverse, before. Can we think of a short word for before? Ear comes up a lot, E-R-E. So we're going to withdraw, we're going to reverse E-R-E, explosive, H-E. Parents, well, parents are mothers and fathers, and a short synonym for mother would be ma. So in the plural, Mars, M-A-S. So we'll withdraw all that, we get same here. It's quite tricky, that one. And look at the checking letter. We solve what's quite a tricky answer, and we get nothing for it in 18 down. Let's have a look at it. 7 letters. Locating neckwear. Dicky bow in locked room. Cell? Ah, that's beautiful. Can you see it? Okay, I've given you a clue that is helpful by saying the word cell. So force yourself now, because that will also tell you which part of the clue is likely to be the definition. Now, if you have managed to decipher how this works, that's really good, I think, because it shows you're starting to think about the clues in the correct way. Oh no, there's a different wasp back again. So what we're looking for here is a 7-letter word for locating neckwear. What on earth does that mean? Well, what does dicky bow mean? Dicky bow is like a, well, it's a dicky bow. That's not very helpful. But dicky is a word that can mean sick. So if we treat the letters of bow in a sick way, we're going to anagram them. And if we put an anagram of bow in a word for a locked room, a cell, we can create cowbell, and a cowbell is an item of locating network, because if it was on a cow, you'd know where the cow was, because the cowbell would be ringing. Oh my goodness, it's all going off out there. That's not Maverick, that sounds like an ambulance. So stand to win or something? Tow. To tow is to tug. Stand in. Yeah. Okay. So how do we read the recipe here? Tug is to tow, T-O-W, with replacement coming round. Well, a replacement for something is a stand-in for it. So we put the stand-in around the word tug, because coming round the word for tug, tow, is the word stand-in. That gives a stand to win. Will probably land. If you stand to win something, you will probably land it. Land as in gain it. If you stand to land a deal, you stand to win it. It's very clever again, unsurprisingly. Now we could get this. This is like an ing word, doesn't it? Okay, 8 letters. Book soon to come out. So, what's going on? Where are we cutting this clue? Make a decision. The way to solve this one actually is to know a very simple abbreviation, which is for book. If we go to book, well, if we don't go to book, if we go to B and trot through all the possible things that B can stand for, one of them is book. There it is. Let me just check you can see that. Yeah, you can. So, book. So, if this was an abbreviation, it could go here, couldn't it? Soon to come. If something's about to come, if it's about to happen, it is looming. And blooming, if a flower is blooming, it is out. So that's lovely, isn't it? Book soon to come out. Actually gives blooming, and the surface is great as usual. Oh, now we get our that's about the first really useful checking letter we've had. We had a V up there and an X there, but in the bottom half, this is really an interesting one. I at the end of 19 down. Muslim married on board cruise going from island to island. Ishmaeli or something like that? Married on board cruise. To cruise is to sail. I haven't quite got this. Something like this. Married can be M. Going from island to island. I think island can be abbreviated to I. So I feel like this is an I word here. Married, I think, is going to be M. On board so I'm looking for my 4-letter word for a crew. It's not actually. Am I right? Ismaili. It could be that, if that's a word, because that's got sail for cruise with M in it. On board the 2 I's. Ismaili. It could be. What's this one? Well, yeah, okay, I can do this one, given that this is an M. I'm going to leave Ismaili in. Look average to the audience. Very important principle coming out of this clue. Homophones are something that cryptic crossword constructors love. Words that sound like other words but are spelt differently and have different meaning. Now, that's what's going on here, and the way the constructor has to tell you if a clue involves a homophone. And you'll see that done in lots of different ways. You might see so to speak, or we hear, or one catches. But there's an indication of that you're hearing something. And here, to the audience. Now, if something's to the audience, it's something the audience would hear. So can we think of a short word, probably beginning with M, because it's got which means average. And the word that means average is mean, M-E-A-N, as in the arithmetic average, statistical average. So mean, M-E-A-N, sounds exactly the same as this word, mean, which is the look of something. So this is the answer that we're looking for. So, but with mien of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched and sat above my chamber door, perched and sat and nothing more. So let's look up this word, because it is a bit of a strange one. It's something you might only see in Edgar Allan Poe nowadays. There we go. An air or look. Now, let's try and justify this I then. So 6 letters, emend, not amend, emend, good book, deleting 1 TB for consumption. Wow. Emend. I want this to be edible. If something is for consumption, it's edible. Please let one of the spiders catch you. Now, why is this edible? Bible is a good book. Ooh, that's lovely. Right. Emend, good book. Can we think of synonyms for that? That would be edit Bible, wouldn't it? If you amend the good book, you would edit the Bible. And if you delete from the phrase edit Bible 1 I, that's the Roman numeral for the number 1, T and B. So imagine you've got the phrase edit Bible in front of you, and I can now see the wasp there, bad wasp. And you remove ITB from it, you would get edible, which is for consumption. It's a great clue, that. I mean, very fortunate to have some checking letters to help us get it. Have we looked at this one? Oh, I've never looked at this one. 8 letters beginning with C. Opening top. Appreciate man spending millions on Ferrari. Oh dear, no, it's right above me. I don't want to have to stop and get rid of it. Opening top. What do they call it in a car when it has an open? Is it a cabriolet or something? Opening top. Ah, okay. A top of like a bottle is a cap. So, oh goodness, you might have seen that on the camera. It just flew over my head. Getting very bolshy, that wasp. So opening up the word cap, could that be what we're doing? This doesn't look like a very propitious set of letters. Oh, it had the opportunity to fly out and it didn't. Get away. Opening top, appreciate man. Clap? So, okay. So man's, car maniac or something, or man spending millions. Oh. Okay, here's a different thought. Man spending millions. This wasp is a real pain. Most of them, they sort of sit by the window, but this one seems very intent on flying towards me all the time. Please fly away. Man, so the word man, if it spends an abbreviation for millions, that would give us just the A and the N, wouldn't it? So could this end AN? On Ferrari. Is Ferrari a place? I was thinking a word like Corsican or something. Opening top, appreciate. Cardigan? And that's got dig in it, is all I'm thinking. If you appreciate something, you dig it. Now it is cardigan, isn't it? That's absolutely brilliant. Right, why is it cardigan? Well, I think the definition here is opening top, as in a top that you can open, rather than a jumper which you couldn't open, could you? So an opening top would be a cardigan. Appreciate is dig. And then man spending millions is AN for the reasons we explained. So we have dig AN, and we put those on car, which is a Ferrari is an example of a car. So this is what the question mark is doing here. It's saying, what could Ferrari be an example of? And this is one of the uses of question marks. There are lots of uses of question marks in cryptic crossword clues, but one of them is to indicate that what precedes the question mark, we're looking for an example of what that is, or that is an example of what's being defined. So Ferrari is an example of a car. So cardigan is right. Now this must be preference, in preference to. Before close. Why is that in preference to? I don't know. Let's just put that in preference to. What's before? Oh, I suppose if you take something before something else, you take it in preference to something else. So before does define in preference to. So how does it work then? Parking, P, regarding. Oh, I see. So regarding is not into or as to, it's in reference to. So in reference to is defined by regarding, and that clamps, in reference to clamps, it secures within it P, which is the abbreviation for parking. So now we've done as much as we can to get up into this top part of the grid again. So our old, but this is meant to have an R in it. Old Indian's tongue. Romeo pierces. Where's the R going? Here? Or there? Without tools for the job. Old Indians. Or I could get this one. That would be the easier way to do this, I think. Yeah. Old Irishman, among others, from the south, hated cops. Among others. I want among others. That could be for example, could it? Oh, hated cops. Oh, God, that's very difficult. I did not see this at all. Right. Okay. Wow. So, I've got this now. This is really hard. This is really hard because the wording, it makes. I was sure hated cops was part of the recipe. It's not. Hated cops is the definition. And can we think of any historic examples of hated cops thinking quite laterally about it? Might have deserved a question mark, this. I think it's the Gestapo. Now, how does it work then? Old Irishman. O can be an abbreviation for old. Irishman, a Pats. Pat is an example of an Irishman. It's a typical Irish name. So Irishmen are Pats. Among others, e.g., that's all from the south. That gives us Gestapo. And now, what is this? Old Indians' tongue? This is one of those words that if you, the moment you see, there can only be one word that fits here. Romeo pierces without tools for the job. Unskilled or some... Oh. Sanskrit? Sanskrit is what it is. Don't know why yet. That's clearly an old Indian tongue, though. R for Romeo pierces. Okay, I mean, this is outrageous. It's brilliant, but it's outrageous. So, without tools for the job, the tools for the job are the kit that you need to do the job, and without a friend, if you have any French language background, you will know sans, S-A-N-S, is the French word for without, but it has made its way into the English dictionary. So if we look up, that's Sanskrit, but without from the French, sans. So without is sans. Without your kit goes around R because Romeo's piercing it to give Sanskrit the old Indian's tongue. Not easy. Oh no, and now I've got my Moana anagram. I don't know. I really don't know this. So I'm looking for an anagram of mana, M-A-N-A, to go in here to be my Pacific Island. Assuming I've understood how the wordplay works. I just don't know this. So it probably begins with M, do you think? Or could it begin with, could it be Nimdanao? Or Mindanao? I think it, that feels more, could that be double N? Mayadano? That doesn't, I mean, I've never seen that word. If that's the answer, I've never seen it before. I would have thought I would have seen the answer once before, so more likely that. So M-A-N into the gaps. So this has to be a vowel. Mindanao. Or new. So it's either this, which, I mean, that doesn't look right, does it? Or it's this. Mindanao. Or Nimdanao or Mindanao. Which of those do we think is more likely? Or have I totally just misunderstood this? Well, I say that you learn something new every day. I'm going to learn something about a Pacific island I didn't know. Mindanao or Nimdanao. They're the... Oh, there's no way. There's no sort of... Sometimes constructors like to spell things in sort of the unchecked letters, which can give you the opportunity to, if you really are stuck, to spot... No, I'm not seeing anything there. Like, you know, we might have been able to get what one of these letters actually was. Nimdenau. Nimdenau or Mindanao. You see, if it ends AO, I think it's clearly coming from some weird Nimdenau. Or could this be an M? I shouldn't spend too long on this because I just don't know it. Nimdenau or Mindanao. It's an outrageous word to put in your puzzle. Nimdenau or Mindanao. I mean, if we're going to go for sort of anglicised words, it's obviously much more likely to be Mindanao. But given it comes from the Pacific Islands, I mean, words like Waikiki spring to mind as like, you know, I'm going to go for Nimdanao. And I think I've made a mistake here. Oh, it's Mindanao. Bobbins. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it, as you could see. Never heard of it. Let me just use T and see what it says about it. Maybe it'll give me some Mindanao. It says it's the second largest island of the Philippines. Oh, the second largest island of the Philippines. I should have known that, shouldn't I? That's appalling. At the southern end of the archipelago, mountainous and volcanic Mindanao. Well, that's my own ignorance exposed again. I'm sorry, didn't know that. Well, more fool me. Anyway, it's a brilliant puzzle. I mean, I particularly loved Cardigan and Road Roller today. I thought they were fantastic. Oh, and we never looked up gravidity, did we? Let's look up gravidity. Oh, see, I knew the word. I said I knew or I thought I knew, or I'd heard the word gravid. It's actually gravid is the one listed, but gravidity is obviously the state of being pregnant. Was there anything else I needed to look up? Don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, gypsum. I was sort of interested in what it said about gypsum. A soft mineral, the source of plaster of Paris and other plasters. Okay. Right. Anyway, that's a wonderful puzzle. Let's have a look at the quick cryptic. Yesterday's quick cryptic I thought was very brilliant. I can't remember who wrote that. This is by Tilt. Peak starts to fall under Fuji. Argument over the untidy home became annoying. Don't know. Urged, surely. Yeah. Impetuously livens up messy when playing. Impetuosity. Impulsivity. Impulse, something like that. Impulsiveness. Earl in Wisconsin turned Doctor Strange. Eerie? Yes. I think. That may be wrong, actually. I'm not sure. Farmer managed Pop Diva. Rancher is the answer there. I think this is wrong. I think this might be weird, actually. And then that's going to be the untidy home became annoying. I don't know. What's this word? What? Oh, Egyptian. Artificial soul binds to boot. Also, great hidden. Spoilt son leaves ready to ride, saddled, addled. That's a good clue. Chinese dynasty heard important ones blown in. Oh, haggis? No. I don't know. Cleaner. Removing clothing to be off colour. Ale, probably. Daily, yes. One has a meaningful job. Lexicographer. Powerful women and men. I don't know. This author's introduced to unacceptable idea notion. Yeah. American Express entertaining staff. Okay. United's front two don't move or warm up. That's a brilliant clue. Warm up. No. Once more, check out donkeys in. I want that to be reassess. I think it is. English show contempt for returning team. Side. That's another good clue. Right, what's this? What Professor McGonagall? Transfiguration or something. With small geeks. What Professor McGonagall does with small geeks. I don't know. But I thought, I don't know, transfiguration or something. Iris worked with pen to stimulate the imagination, is to inspire. Teach, educate, that's easier. Unknown rubs go the wrong way. Obscure, Mindanao. Make a short trip. Run, arguing regularly. Yeah. Loud female, drunk by noon, is producing unpleasant smells. Nifs. Is it nifs? Drunk. Yes, it is nifs. Gosh. Discharged bishop departs drunk. Discharged. Oozed? Oozed. Yeah. Argument over the untidy home. Becomes annoying. Became annoying. Wore thin. I don't know what that is. Haggis, is this? Chinese dynasty Han? Heard important ones blown in. I don't know. That's weird. Powerful women and men. Powerful women and men. I don't know what that is. What's this then? Or warm up. Unfreeze? Don't move. Freeze. Yeah, that's right. So what is this then? Small geeks. Geek? What? What Professor McGonagall does? Teaches? With small geeks. Train spotters. Oh, that's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant and should have had a question mark. Chinese dynasty heard important ones blown in. Ones blown in. Hanky. Is it hanky? Hanky. Heard important. That's great as well. Just got this one. Powerful women and men. Supers. Powerful women and men. No idea. Powerful women. Amazons? I don't know what this is. Powerful women. Queens. Why? I suppose chessmen are queens. Yeah, that was very good, and that must be a pangram. There's so much nonsense going on in that grid. J's and Q's and X's and Z's. That was a very good puzzle. I mean, it was a terrible time, but actually not so terrible when you look at. It's not actually had that many solves for the quick cryptic, that one. And even the very brilliant people like Chloe is taking over 3 minutes. Sometimes she's 1 minute 50 for those. So not, and Likert is a good solver, I think. So I've managed to beat Likert, which is, I mean, it means it's not terrible. No, definitely not terrible. And a really good puzzle. There were some very good clues in that one. Yeah, it's a shame in a way, because I'm racing. I can't savour the clues. But there was, the McGonagall one. What Professor McGonagall does with small. So she trains Potter, and then S for small, trains spotters, geeks. That's fantastic. What a fantastic clue. Very, very nice puzzle, Tilt. Very nice puzzle, James, on the first one. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments how your cryptic solving's going. Do remember to like and subscribe, please, if you could do that. We are so close to 700,000, and statistics tell us that an awful lot of people watch these videos and regularly, but they don't subscribe. It would be kind of you. It's free to subscribe. It would be kind if you could help the channel and encourage these wonderful puzzles to get a wider audience. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.